All right. Here's the
All
song.
right. Mm. Round, round.
Live from Kentucky and Louisiana, 2 Marines, 1 mission. This is Sense and Senseless. From the hills to the bayou, stories collide. Brothers in arms, now we're side by side. Sense and senseless, we cut through the noise. 2 Southern Marines with that rebel voice. Grab a seat, pour a drink, let's make some sense. Or none at all, it just depends. Sense and senseless.
Welcome back to Sense and Senseless. I'm Bryan.
I'm sensitive. I'm Jason.
He's Jason. All right, tonight we're going to discuss how politicians get campaign funding through PACs and super PACs. It's going to be a down and dirty version, so if you're a political science major, this episode will only make you dumber. But for the people out there like us and don't really know how this works, this conversation tonight will help you understand how some of this shit works, all right? We're going to talk about how there's a gang mentality, not only in politics, but in business. We'll also discuss the state of the country today. Are we further apart than ever? Can we fix this? Or is it time for a fucking divorce?
Mm.
That's all. Here we go.
Sometimes
We're
you just
going
gotta throw
to
the
begin
towel
with
in there,
this,
right?
all right?
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to say, you know what? It's time for us to move on. We're going to get into that tonight. So to start with, you ever wonder why, and this is rhetorical, you ever wonder why politicians say stupid shit? Why they constantly lie and expect you to believe it? Well, one of the reasons is they just hate you, and they also think you're stupid. The other reasons are they have no choice, I believe. I believe that, and then we talked about this before and how politicians are owned by some extent. And if you want to continue to have power and money, you'll do what you're told. Just like when you're in the gang, you jumped in and there's no way out. Blood in, blood out. This is why we have politicians like Gavin Newsom that will destroy a city or a state and talk as if they're doing something great. I was talking to Jen the other night because I was going through all this, and I was going over how AIPAC. We're going to discuss AIPAC later, but how AIPAC can push their agenda as well as these other super PACs, and how they've driven the cost of elections to outrageous numbers. And I believe this is all because if you don't do what you're told or being asked to do, you don't get any of this money donated to your campaign, and are you primaried by a candidate that it will now support the super PAC or the PACs that you snub. All because that candidate will do what you wouldn't do, not because they're a better fit for the country. So all this money will get thrown to this other candidate, and you might be a great candidate, but you don't have any money because these super PACs and PACs don't want you in position. So it's hard for the common man to actually come through, the political ranks. I mean, does that make sense?
Oh yeah. No, it does.
And
I mean, I just had a weird, if you can give me just a second, thought.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I'm not condoning this, okay? So I'm putting that out there. Anybody listening, anybody that know me, I'm not condoning, but it's almost like when somebody does something like a criminal act, murder, whatever, sometimes you got to look and try to get in the mind of them and say, what were they thinking? Sometimes you can say, I know why that dude did it. I don't agree with it, but I know why he did it.
Yeah,
But
I
like you were
understand.
just saying,
Yeah.
yeah, right there. You just said, if they can't get you to do it, they'll go get somebody else that will, right? That'll do
Yep.
whatever they want them to do up in there. It's like porn. Girls want to know why guys watch porn? Because them girls are doing stuff them guys want their girl to do that they won't do. That's what I'm getting at. I don't condone it. I'm just saying.
I don't
guys,
condone it, but I understand it.
Yes, but I understand, and it's the same thing. You'll find somebody that'll do what you want them to do, and there you go. It's
some
and
people
that's a
have
sick
less
world. It's a
morals.
sick world. Yes, it's the moral thing that we were talking about. So I'm going at morals people here, not condoning to, hey, see, honey, come look at this. He says why we watch it. It has nothing to do with you. Just you won't do this
No,
stuff.
because you ain't nasty enough, so I got to watch this shit. So if you'd be nastier, I wouldn't have to watch this shit. So it's your fault. That's what Jason just told all of you.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail now. Take down our email address, Bryan.
Another lesson by Jason.
Yeah.
All right. So, as we discussed before, it's just hard for good people to be in office, as they always have to sell their soul per se. And I don't think a lot of good people, are willing to do it. And I'm not going to say good people can't get in office. I just don't know if they can stay in office. And I'm going to make this a hypothetical, and I'm going to use Gavin Newsom, for example, because I have a video of Gavin Newsom and, his great success that he's had through California. And
sorry.
What is that, the magic hands?
No, Gavin Newsom, remember? He
I forgot about the fucking hands. Yeah, I forgot about that video. No shit.
We played
the fucking spirit fingers.
Yeah, spirit fingers. Go, sorry.
So
sorry, I'm in a joke.
We're gonna use old Gavin.
Sorry.
That's good though. We're gonna use old Gavin Newsom, and it's good that you're in a joking mood because this is gonna be some heavy shit. And I'm gonna use a caveat in here also. I'm not trying to shit on the nation at all. I love this nation. I think we're the greatest nation in the world. Having said that, I think we all need to ask fucking questions, and I don't think we understand, the shit that goes on around us on a daily basis. And I think that's intentional. They don't want the average person to understand that.
You're not pooping on the nation, dude. You're opening the door for people to think. That's all you're doing.
Thank you. And that's what I hope I'm doing. And I hope that's what we're doing, and to where we can discuss this and in a layman's terms manner, if I can say that, in a better way, I would, but that's the only way I can really say it. I can't say I'm going to dumb it down because I had to dumb it down for myself. You're right. So we're going to learn all this shit together.
Dumb it down.
So we're going to use old Gavin Newsom in this scenario. Keep it simple, stupid. So Gavin Newsom, if you don't know, he's the governor of California. So this is a hypothetical situation, for example. I just want to say that. And I don't know if any of this is to be true, but this is my assumption on how this shit happens. All right, so let's say you're an inspiring politician. You're an up-and-comer, you're coming up through the ranks. And I'm assuming that the people in the political world are always looking for the next best thing, the next best guy. That's what I'm assuming. All right, to take their agenda to another level. And they come across this nice-looking guy that would say whatever needs to be said to get shit done, and Gavin Newsom. So you start talking with this guy and understanding his aspirations. Eventually, you tell him if he plays his cards right, one day he can be in line to be the governor of California. First, they got to give him a shot. He runs mayor. I don't know what he done before this, but he ran for mayor. He wins mayor of San Francisco, and with their help, during this time, he proves that he could be a great prospect to move shit forward that they want moved forward. He can be a mouthpiece for the people behind the scenes, and he'll do anything to remain in power. So they decide to see how he'll do as governor. So they're gonna give him a promotion. And hell, he's even more ruthless as a governor. He's learning the ropes and he's getting better at lying. And above all, he's staying true to the cause of why he was elected. Not the cause of the people that voted for him, but the cause of the investors in his political future. The cause of the PACs and the super PACs that we're going to discuss tonight. Therefore, as long as he's doing what he's told, he'll always have a great political career. However, he'll never be a sovereign man again. He'll be owned by these elites until the dawn of time. His family, or whoever's in this might also be owned by these entities. This is why I believe we have some of these politicians that stay in office until almost death. They can't leave. They're not allowed to leave. It's like a fucking gang, blood in, blood out. Mm-hmm. That's why I believe they say such stupid shit. They have to. And by the time they get to this level, they believe that people are so stupid that they'll believe anything they fucking say. And the worst part is I believe they think they're godlike, you know. And if you look at just the big picture of everything and how they try to take Christianity out of everything, I almost think they want to take religion and Christianity out because they are the religion. They want you to buy into their political aspirations as they are the religion. They're the ones giving you your freedom. Your freedom no longer comes from, you know, just being on earth and being from God. They're giving it to you. I really believe that's how those people. Are you with me on this one, Jason?
Yeah, yeah, dude, you're on a
Okay.
roll. I ain't gonna stop.
All right.
That
Yeah. I
train.
just want to make sure that this all makes
choo-chooing.
sense because
No,
yeah,
it
yeah.
does.
I want
mean,
to make sure this all makes sense.
No,
All right. So
no, it
here
does.
is a video I
because
found.
He's their next face. He's that Democratic face.
Yes. He's a
that.
and if you look at him, I mean, what
He's
we
a-
call him in
he's
the
a
beginning,
good-looking
Two-Face.
dude.
Remember?
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. He says, I mean, yeah, we make fun of his hand signals and all that, but in their eyes, he says the right things. He's got that swagger to him. I think they think he's going to grab maybe the younger people again, right? And they're going to. He's not like Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton or whatever. He's a new, fresh dude, but like you said, we know he's owned. We know the
He
pack.
is, and
Yeah, we know lies come out of his mouth too. I mean, that whole fire, the LA fires, man, he mishandled the crap out of that, dude. So, but
I'm pretty sure that was intentional too. I mean, we can do a deep dive in that shit one day too. And I don't want to just limit this to Gavin Newsom. I wanted to use Gavin Newsom because I have some videos, but I believe this with most politicians, if not all of them. I can't say all of them because, you know, I'm pretty sure there's some good politicians still out there. Having said that, I mean, the money that you need to run for these big offices now, it's hard to be a wholesome person and be able to do that. And we're going to go over that tonight.
Well, what's his tits from Texas with the eye patch?
Fucking Crenshaw.
Dan dude, Crenshaw. I thought that dude was good to go and all that. I did. I was like, man, that I could see that. I'd vote for him for president on down the road. And I think
you would think a veteran, you know.
I think he came in clean. I really do. And then I think he got caught up in this stuff, dude. And then come to find out that who was it? Where was it? Oh, Columbia. He's got
Columbia University?
No, the country.
Or the nation.
Or no, okay. Venezuela. Shoot, my mind just went blank. Where we seasoned all that oil, or we went over there and nabbed that dude and his wife, Maduro, and all that to come to find out that he's tied to money that came from there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I'm putting together also something on politicians. So we each week we building up to something, and you know we're going to get the politicians and how all this money moves around. I'm just trying to keep it simple.
Rand Paul's on that list. A lot of them that we thought were, man, these are good dudes, and they're not. They're all. I'm telling you, the only one that I'm really trusting, and he'll probably let me down too, is Fetterman.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Fetternet.
Man. Or Fetternet, dude. I'm telling you, I like him. Right now I do, but he probably gonna let me down too. They all do, man.
Well, you can't put a whole lot of hope into these people. All you can do is whenever
they can't survive
up
there without this, dude. They can't survive. They're not gonna last. And it ain't because of us, it's because of the investing.
Yeah, and you're gonna see that as we go through tonight how much money you think that you have a choice. This is an illusion of a choice, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you a video. And for those of y'all that listen, and this video is how Gavin Newsom is going to solve the homeless problem with his 10-year plan. And this goes from 2008 to 2024. So he is 16 years into his 10-year plan in this video.
San Francisco.
How are you going to solve homelessness? What
we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco.
How are you going to solve homelessness? What are you going to do as a new mayor? And I say, well, what are you going to do?
Focus on a housing first model, direct access to housing.
Shelter, salt, sleep, housing with wraparound and support services. solve homelessness. Homelessness absolutely can be solved.
Laid out a detailed homeless strategy. There's been no intentionality on homelessness in this state for decades. It's not been a focus.
I don't think we can solve homelessness. I know we can solve homelessness. We will reduce street homelessness quickly and humanely through emergency action.
The highest investment the state's ever made is $1 billion on homelessness. We are poised to pass a budget in the next few hours that will provide $12 billion of investment. I can literally quantify 58,000 people that we got off the streets last year, and none of you would believe it.
This state has not made progress in the last 2 decades as it relates to homelessness. Why?
We're not interested in funding failure. We're not interested in failing more efficiently when it comes to the issue of homelessness and the crisis on the street.
And none of you would believe it. Well, no cap, because it didn't happen.
Yeah. So that man is 16 years into his 10-year plan. Well, now it'd be 17 years.
I love how you say that and then go straight to a video and don't even let me comment that math ain't mathing, dude. In my head, it's like, let's see, carry the 2 and the 1 and divide by 3 times MC
It's
squared
Common
and
Core. You
pi.
wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
You're not smart
Core.
enough to
Yeah, that
understand
Kentucky math. I know. My IQ's down there with them Somalians, but go ahead.
So you think in 16 years on his 10-year plan, you would think that homelessness would be solved, or he would at least rethink the fucking plan, right? But no,
Or
he just keep
there'd
pushing
be-
the same
you-
shit.
Wouldn't you see a big change? Wouldn't you see it coming
You
down?
would see
Like
something.
when you drive around, you wouldn't see as many and you would continue seeing them gone. And where are they going?
They're going to California because he's spending so much money on homelessness.
Yeah, he just said last year we did $1 billion. We're going to dedicate 12 billion there. So that even tells you that that's a fraud, man. That
Yep.
now you see this money, now you don't, because it's going to go somewhere else. It's not going to go to homeless. Because I guarantee you, homeless Johnny out there on the streets, like, I ain't seen none of that money. I mean,
Well, hold on. We're going to get to that
he
too.
out there, dude, he out there doing some nasty stuff for a crack rock. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well,
whatever.
this is what gets me is this proves, I mean, and this is just a microcosm of what goes on in politics, but this proves that, just failing is status quo and they're good with it. They're
Yeah.
not even embarrassed about it. He can get in
No.
front of you every year and tell you how great he's doing. He's not embarrassed at all. And that's
No.
a fucking problem. We should
Yeah.
be making him embarrassed of that.
Right. Well, and the other thing too, Brian,
No,
I mean, I thought homelessness was an epidemic and man, woe is them. And man, I feel bad for them people. And then I watched some documentaries, like multiple ones that I seen come up on it. I'm like, I'm gonna watch that. Then once I watched one, I watched others. A majority of homeless people choose to be homeless. They don't want to be part of the
Yeah,
society.
they do.
Huh?
I think I told you the story before. When I went and watched the Saints play Atlanta in Atlanta years ago, it snowed and it was freezing, and we were staying at the Omni Hotel, and I was smoking at the time, so I go outside, and all the homeless people were there because they would come into the it wasn't a lobby, it was like a big mall area behind the Omni Hotel, and there was restaurants and shit in there. So I bought them all a fucking beer, because I just want to know why they live like this. And a lot of them told me that they choose to live like this. And they the ones that opened up my eyes. They said, you think you own everything. They said, but everything you have owns you. Your house
Yes.
that you think you own, your car, is all this stuff you're doing to take care of that. And he said, I'm living free, and I might not have everything that you think you have, but I'm freer than you. And he explained all that. And this was years ago, but I mean, it really opened up my eyes to how these people think. And I appreciated that. They're not all stupid.
So saying that, then you go to his campaigning for 16 years about homelessness and the amount of money they're feeding into it when these people don't even want to be not homeless. You see what I'm saying? It's a ploy. It's a cover up. It's that smoke, right? The mirrors, the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
They're using stuff that we're like, oh man, that's good. I like that. I like that he's donating to that.
Yeah.
Like just like a church donating to something that really catches your heart, and then you do some digging and find out it's not that big of an epidemic that you think it is. So now where's that money going? Who's getting
Or
that money?
or it
Well,
is
we're
an
just
epidemic
funneling-
that you think, but they getting 1 penny off the dollar.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so
So-
I see it both ways. I think it's
Right.
fucked up. They hide
It
behind
is.
that stuff, just like you were saying last week about how they hide behind the churches. You know, with all those
Mhm.
NGOs. It's
Yeah,
sad that they.
I told my
and then
preacher that last Sunday. And he just smiled
About what
at
we were
me. I
talking
said,
about?
Yeah. No, the NGOs.
Oh, okay. What he said?
Like
You don't wanna share?
He knew of that. No, he knew. He's not dumb. He knew of that. He knew that they were doing that over in North Korea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were taking specialized people, making them look like they're missionaries, putting them up in there, and they were spying on North Korea.
No. Well,
Use church.
going back to Newsom, so he's using. I want to point this out real quick. So he's using homelessness as a way to bring in money, and I see that no different than the way they do a lot of political things. And biggest one to me is climate change. How many times in your lifetime have they changed the goalpost on climate change? The world's going to end, or this is
Yep.
going to happen in this time, or you can't spray hairspray or aerosol because it's going to eat up the ozone layer, or all this different shit. They keep moving these goalposts, and people keep putting money into it, and it's an endless bucket of money. It's like there's a hole in the bottom of the bucket, and this money's going somewhere, but it's not fixing the fucking climate. And it's the same shit they're doing with these homeless people.
Yeah.
So I mean, not only wasn't. Go ahead.
No, Paul Harvey even said back in the day, who's been up to the atmosphere to test the ozone layer? Does that even exist?
What is it?
Seriously.
I mean,
And
they told us what it is,
Take
but I mean,
cans of
how
aerosol up there and spray on it, and like, oh, look, it's getting a hole in it. Shit, stop using it.
Yeah, kind of like
Bad.
gasoline and
Aerosol
styrofoam.
bad. Yeah, methane gas.
Did they have something against Aquanet or something?
Yeah, I think they did. Aquanet wouldn't sign up for the regular pack and the super pack. So see ya.
They wouldn't get in line, so we got to get rid of Aquanet.
No.
That was just some of the stupidest shit when you think back to it.
I know, dude. And I miss the big hair, the 80s big hair, man. Girls look hot with all that hair up and that Aquanet. Get high as hell walking by the bathroom because your mom was in there.
You just hate the environment. You can light anything on fire with that. That was the best thing with the hairspray, though. You can take a lighter or a match and just make a torch out of it.
Yeah.
Hell
yeah.
The toys of a poor person.
Yeah, I lit up some wasp's nests like that, man. It was awesome. Homemade flamethrower.
We don't condone that, children.
Yes. Yeah. Don't try this at home, please. Yeah.
That's right.
Catch a house on fire.
All right. So let's go back to Newsom.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get in
so
there.
Not only was this dude not successful in his plan, but I want you to listen to the stupidity of how they were trying to help the homeless. All right. This is priceless.
Let's talk about the homelessness, because he has admitted that $24 billion in homeless money over the years has disappeared and it was spent, but nobody knows what it was spent on and if it did any good. And that's what this one fascinated me, because he actually admitted it.
Yeah, well, he only admitted to $24 billion. The state legislative analyst upped it to $37 billion. And that money disappeared into the black hole of newly created nonprofits and NGOs, non-governmental organizations. And those people hired, friends and family, and the CEO was making $250 a year, and they just would spend the money as fast as humanly possible. I did an article that posted today just highlighting one of these organizations in San Francisco, which is supposed to be providing free shots of alcohol to homeless alcoholics. And in 5 years, at $16 million a year, they've served 55 clients.
No, you're making that up. Wait, this is tax money, and it buys free shots of booze to street drunks.
Yes, and it's been going on for a number of years. It was an organization that already existed, but they beefed it up during COVID, ostensibly to keep these homeless alcoholics out of emergency rooms. And it's under the we're kind of trying to reduce harm to these people. And as I said, I'm sorry, giving alcohol to alcoholics is like giving crack to crackheads and heroin to heroin addicts. It doesn't end it; it makes it worse.
That's hilarious, dude.
It's working pretty fucking good, ain't it?
Yeah. $37
So we got a
billion
homeless
just gone. Then they don't even know where. And then come to find out there's an NGO group out there doing shots to homeless alcoholics.
And what they said, it was 50-something people they had
Where
in
do
it
you
or
dig
something.
this stuff up, dude? And it's real. That's the funny thing is, but dude, you're like on the dark web digging that up. That's
Not the
crazy.
dark. I just, I just have questions, and there's a lot of questions I have, and the more threads
you're a thread pulling fool, dude.
And the more threads I pull, the more shit I come up with. I mean, I got weeks of material just, in other folders to go through. But tonight we're talking about PACs and super PACs, and this homeless alcoholic program. I had no idea this existed until a few days ago, and I'm sure most of y'all didn't know it existed. And if you're a young person and you're into it, I mean, it might sound great. You can go get free alcohol, but for the taxpayer, that's a lot of fucking money just disappearing.
Oh yeah,
a lot of fucking money. This is our money.
Crazy.
I mean, they're stealing our money.
Yeah.
And why? We were just talking about this, and I'm gonna let this homeless guy explain it. But why does this shit grow? And the one video I'm about to play you, I seen in 2020. It was during the COVID time, and it was like in between the what you call it. It wasn't nonviolent protest. The peaceful protest. It was in between those, and they were in San Francisco, and they were just going through all the homeless people. And I remembered this video, and why I remembered it, because the guy says he's from Louisiana, Texas area. Now, if you're not watching this, this guy says that he chooses to be homeless, but I mean, the amount of face tattoos and shit that he got on him, I don't think there's many people hiring him. But in his defense, he found a place that'll help him out. So let's check this out.
Where are you from?
Louisiana, Texas area.
How long you been in San Francisco?
Since June. If you're gonna be homeless, it's pretty easy here. I mean, if we're gonna be realistic, they pay you to be homeless here.
When you said that San Francisco pays people to be homeless, what did you mean by that? You mean that literally?
Yeah. I mean, I get $620 a month, dude.
From general assistance,
yeah.
Or how was that hard to get?
Phone call, bro. Phone call. 200 food stamps and $620 cash a month.
Wow.
Forget about it. Why wouldn't I do it? It's free money, dude. This right now is literally by choice. Literally by choice. Like, why would I want to pay rent? I'm not doing shit. I got a cell phone that I have Amazon Prime and Netflix on. The cops told us this morning, like, oh, it'd be easier if you guys packed up in the morning. We wouldn't have to come out here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, okay. And then went.
Hey, hold up. I'm going to go tell my wife. I think I'm fixing to haul ass to San Francisco, dude. 200.
Yeah, I'm sure.
200 and food
I'm sure the
stamps
money's
and
more.
Yeah, it probably is by now. And man, I mean, I'm not putting that crap all over my face, but dude, I want to be free too.
Yeah, and he can watch Netflix
on his food. I mean, come on.
Great weather. He probably
Who's
give him a
the
tent
idiots, dude? Really? Who's the dumb ones? It's us.
Oh, I'm not I would not argue that at all. I agree with you. They getting over on the system, and it's the guys at the top and the guys at the bottom that are really getting the system. The ones in the middle are just getting fucked, and we're gonna talk about that a little later. But I mean, it's true. I mean, you try to do what's right. You try to be a God fearing man that works his ass off provide for his family, and you end up looking like an idiot. And it shouldn't be that way.
No.
It shouldn't. And I mean, does it seem like the system works as intended? If people are going there as homeless just to go over there and get free money, I mean, does that sound like what was it intended to do?
Yeah.
But all these nonprofits and NGOs, they're still moving money to their friends and family. And they're not trying to fix the homeless problem. They're using it, just like you said a little while ago. They're using that as a way to bring more money in to funnel it to their own people. So they're stealing our money off of a facade that they're helping someone.
Yeah, they're giving some to them, don't get me wrong, but they're not trying to get them off the street. They're trying to keep them out there so there still looks to be a problem so they can keep campaigning on that, right? And we're too stupid to say, dude, when is this going to end? When are you going to get them off the street? You keep saying you're going to, and we keep tax money keeps going to you to do this. Why isn't it fixing anything? And I'm sure they got some cock and bull story to cover that crap up too. And we'd be like,
because they don't care.
Hey, you guys, like slop, dude. You're coming home with
Well, it's
me.
the same reason why Newsom's 16 to 17 years. It's the same reason why Newsom is 16 to 17 years into his 10-year plan to fix homelessness. They don't care.
Yeah.
They really don't.
They don't care.
I mean, it's pretty fucking evident. But
hey, I wish that worked on my wife because I got a 10-year plan to finish the grout on the tile in the kitchen and the floor and all that. She ain't buying it. She ain't buying it.
Still
dude.
gonna get it done in Nebelware,
plan, and she ain't buying it. I want it done. Like it's a 1-year plan.
Well,
but
you need to show her. Look, I mean, I get at least 16 to 17 years in my 10-year plan.
That's right.
I just guesstimated it to be 10 years. Even if it's 20 years, 10 years sounded about right 10 years ago. I need another 10 years.
I know. Yeah, I gotta have some more time with this stuff.
Who would have thunk that? Right?
I'm gonna use that crap at work, dude. I'm gonna tell work like, hey, I'll have that done in 10 years.
Yeah. So
like
what is your
16.
estimate when you're gonna have that job done, Jason? I don't know, 10 years? 10 years.
16.
No, 16, 10 to 16 years.
And I'm gonna need 24 to 37 billion to do it too. Show me the money. Show me the money.
Well, we're about to show you the money. So now we're going to talk about who's behind this shit. And this is how we're going to get into PACs, super PACs, and dark money. And if you don't know what this is, I didn't either. And we're going to talk about it in simplest terms. So a PAC is a political action committee. It is a group that raises and spends money to support or oppose political candidates, usually in federal elections. Traditional PACs collect limited donations like up to $5,000 per person per year and can give directly to candidates, parties, or other PACs. All right. So there's businesses, like you said, unions, trade groups, and ideological groups that collect it through their company, kind of like you said your company does. And they can support it through the PAC. Simple enough, right?
Yep.
So you would think that this is just a grassroots thing. This is just bottom feeders giving our money to these smaller PACs to give the money to the politicians that we support so these politicians can move up and become our next whatever the fuck they're supposed to be. All right. That's what you would think. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of ActBlue, but a few years ago, I think it was 23 or 24. It must have been 24 during an election cycle. ActBlue came out because they were getting a lot of money donated by people that wasn't donating the money. And the reason I know this, well, I'm not going to say I know it exactly, but judging by the reports I've seen and the videos I've seen and people calling this shit out, they were going door to door to these people that donated and asking them, why did they donate to ActBlue and if they donated to ActBlue? And these people I never donated to ActBlue. So what they were doing is they were using their name and donate money. So you can get a whole bunch of names and donate $5,000 a piece to ActBlue under whatever. So say I'm the corporation of Bryan and I got $20,000 and I can only donate 5,000 at a time, I can get other names and donate under their names. And that's what was happening.
Right.
So it's not as grassroots on all of it as you would think. So I'm going to do an Act Blue because I just want to show you how the fraud works in just the simplest terms. So Act Blue is a nonprofit technology organization and an online fundraising platform primarily used by Democratic candidates, progressive groups, and left-leaning causes to collect small dollar donations from grassroots supporters, making it easy for people to contribute online securely. It streamlines donations, offers recurring payment options, and helps build people-powered campaigns, basically. So we're generating the campaign funds as the people. But that's not exactly what's going on. So check this out.
Breaking: the Democrats' favorite money machine just got exposed, and it's worse than you think. Hello, my fellow overtaxed citizens. Here's today's daily update. According to Revolver News, link in bio so you can read it for yourself, Act Blue, the Democrats' go-to fundraising juggernaut, has just been cornered after a massive investigation into their donor records. Now, it turns out thousands of so-called small donations were coming from fake names, stolen identities, and in many cases, dead people. Go figure, right? If that sounds familiar, it should. This is the same playbook shady nonprofits used to funnel cash into elections and pretended it was grassroots. And while the legacy media is busy pretending this doesn't matter, the evidence is piling up and Act Blue is officially busted. Now, this isn't a clerical error. It's an industrial scale election funding fraud. Now, think about it. If your movement was really popular, would you need to use dead people's names to fund it? Act Blue isn't grassroots. It's AstroTurf, and now they're cornered with nowhere to run.
Yeah, that guy started following whenever Doge was really coming out. He would cover every day, what was going on with Doge, and he had some pretty good damn information. But I mean, that's fraud at a lower level in Act Blue, and I don't know if we can trust anything anymore. The more I dig into this, the more it's like, what the fuck's going on?
I know.
So that in a sense is a PAC. And I'm going to have a video that's going to explain this more in detail a little later. I'm just trying to give y'all the overview right now. So now we're going to go into what a super PAC is. So a super PAC is a special type of PAC. It's a super PAC, It's
a super PAC.
It's created. It was created after the
waka 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 waka. Sorry.
Yeah, that's when Pac-Man gets real big and shit and starts eating all the ghosts.
Yeah, he eats all your money.
He becomes
the super PAC.
What's
all your money?
You think maybe that's where this shit was derived from? No, they didn't have super PACs back then, so I give them that break.
No. Yeah.
All right. So they were created after the 2010 court rulings with Citizens United, which will be explained a little later. It can raise and spend unlimited money from anyone, individuals, corporations, unions, to run ads, do voter outreach, and push messages for or against candidates. Here's the catch, though. A super PAC cannot give money directly to candidates or coordinate strategy with campaigns, though loose ties often happen. This lets them flood elections, though, with big ad buys. These are the people that whenever you see on television, brought to you by, and it has the super PAC on television. These are the people that's bringing the shit. And then right now, from what I found, there's around 7,700 to 8,000 PACs. All right. And then there's about 2,500 organized super PACs. Now, this will fluctuate because, some will come in and some will come out. And there's a lot of smaller PACs, and I'm not saying all of these guys are bad. I'm sure there's some legitimate ones. Having said that, there's a lot of money that's flowing out there it's just not right. And then the last one of the three that we were going to talk about, and I'll give you a second, Jason, is dark money. So what the dark money does, it hides the original donor by routing cash through nonprofits, the 501c, social welfare groups, churches, or whoever's using the 501c, that don't have to publicly name their funders. These nonprofits can run ads or send money to super PACs, so the super PAC lists the nonprofits as their donor and not the real source. So I can move my money through, Jason's church, and Jason's church can donate my money to whatever he wants to donate it to, and now my name's not associated with the donation. That's how you get dark money in the simplest terms. So how they team up in real life, real quick, down and dirty. I'm going to go through it, and then I'm going to play a video. I'm going to give you a chance to talk to this, but I'm going to play a video of how we can bribe the politicians with PACs and super PACs to round all this shit out. So, in a quick rundown, so the super rich person or company wants massive influence but doesn't want their name out there. So they donate unlimited cash to a dark money nonprofit as anonymously or a non-disclosure required. The nonprofit passes that money unlimited to a super PAC. The super PAC spends it on huge independent ads, mail, digital campaigns to help or attack candidates without directly giving to the candidate or coordinating in theory, right? Meanwhile, regular PACs still do smaller direct transparent support by giving limited cash straight to the candidate.
Mm-hmm.
This all makes sense, Jason?
Yeah.
Are you following me?
Yeah, because I told you I already knew about the PAC. I don't know if we're a super PAC or not. I think it's just a regular PAC at work, but and I'm not judging people that support that or whatever, but I just believe it's we're doing it in order to go to take the stuff that we deal with the government, like the federal government for my job, our business, we're using that to go lobby. So we're paying politicians to vote a certain way is what we're doing with that.
That's exactly what you're doing with it.
Yeah. And
you helping them pay them through your company to help you keep work.
Right. And at the end of the day, your vote is your vote. But you got to think about this. It's like commercials on TV. There's a reason why there's commercials, every so often in a TV show on regular TV, and it's 1 minute, or 3 minutes or something like that of commercials in between clips of the TV show. And if you cut all the commercials out, your TV show, like a 30-minute series or an hour series, would only be, I forget how long, like 45 minutes for an hour or 20 minutes for a 30-minute, right? So all that other crap is a bunch of commercials, and it's we learned this too in my business. You ever notice how the commercial is a lot louder than the show you're watching?
Yeah.
Okay, you know why that is?
To wake you up?
No. Most people get up and go do stuff during commercial break, like go to the bathroom or go in the kitchen to get something to drink. So the commercial purposely, it's actually against the law. Nobody holds them accountable. So they crank the volume up of the commercial. You'd be surprised how many of our customers would call in calls saying, hey, every time a commercial comes on, my volume jumps up on my TV. That's not us there, fool. It's the channel. And that's a ploy. So you can hear, even though you left the room, you can still hear the commercial because it gets in your head. Does that make sense? I mean, they're brainwashed.
Yeah,
Brian, it's brainwashing. That's what it is. So you see enough of these commercials, like the Super PAC commercials and ads, it can start swaying you not to vote for somebody or to vote a certain way. And you don't even do the research and know if it's true or not.
And that's just by passing by the television. You haven't even sat down. And like you said, if the volume goes up, you can be in the kitchen and you just constantly hearing this shit. And I'm not even going to say they brainwashing you to the fact that you believe in what they say. You start to hear name recognition. When you hear name drops multiple times and then you go to the polls and you're just looking for something familiar, so you voted for the president. That's main when you're going there for it. And you just start pulling levers for everyone else that you heard is familiar to you. And that's how they get you.
Yeah. Just like you were saying, Hollywood said they don't make these deep movies anymore because our attention span's horrible now. Right. And I'm sitting there thinking, no kidding, because stuff like this right here, people, this is what they do to get in your head. Because who is it? Who ain't going to watch a little drama? These ads aren't saying what Trump's going to do. These aren't saying what Biden's going to do or Kamala. They're telling you the drama. They're telling you the crap on the other person they're running against. It's slander. They slander the crap out of their opponent. You hardly ever hear what that candidate's going to do. All you hear is what they say the other guy's not going to do, and how much they're going to mess up. And that, after hearing that, it can sway votes, and that's what they're doing. It might not get everybody, but if they get some, that's all they care about. That we did, we tilted the voting due to our ads.
Drama sells. It's a big
does.
selling point. I mean, it's sad, but people really enjoy drama. And I'm not a big drama person, but I'm not going to lie. If I see something on television and it's kind of chaotic, I will stop. I don't mind looking at a train accident. You know, if there's a train wreck, I want to see it to the end. I'm sorry, I'm a human, but I'm not going look for that type of shit. You know, like some people. But if I see it, I want to see it through.
But when I'm scrolling through TikTok, if I see something that's got potential for drama, where's the first place I go, Brian? The comment section.
You go on the comments. Yeah, I realize that. I'm not a comments person, but yeah, I get it.
I love it. I'm not going to lie. So I'll be honest.
All right. So, well, we all have our vices. And I mean, if drama didn't sell to the average person, they wouldn't push it so much. So you can't feel like, you know, you pulled into something, like you should feel bad for being pulled into it. No, there's a reason that everybody's pulled into it, because it's human nature. And I think, again, we might have been trained in this, because I remember, you know, back in the day when you'd watch the old Westerns with your grandpa and all, and they were wholesome movies, even though they were killing each other. You knew who was good, you knew who was bad. It was just, it was a binary movie, you know, this and this.
Murder, She Wrote with your grandma. Murder was in the damn Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury or whatever her name was. Yeah. I mean, it even said murder in the title, and it was a wholesome show.
No, not anymore. Nothing is wholesome anymore. But we created that again. And I'm not putting that on anybody else. I mean, we're the ones that wanted to push the edge, you know, as Gen X. And I don't know if we could put that genie back in the bottle. You know, I think we might have pushed it a little too far. Yeah.
It's out.
All right.
Well, back to the drama thing, everybody, real quick. Hold up. Back to the drama thing. I don't want the drama pool in my backyard. I'm just being honest. I hate drama. I don't want it in my house. I don't want it at work. I don't want that pool. But I ain't gonna lie. Every once in a while, when I see it in somebody else's yard, I'll dip my toes in it a little bit. But I just don't want it in my yard, right? So at least I'm honest about it. Brother. Most people ain't. But all right, take us off, everybody.
All right, so this video is a little long, but it has a good explanation of the system. And I felt it would be better to play this video than to get into the nuts and bolts of everything, because I want anyone that's listening to this to have an understanding of what we're talking about. Because the way they move money in this nation, even though it's legal, in my opinion, is fucked up. And they still, you know, they're pushing their agenda no matter what we want with this money. And when you see the whole big picture of things, you'll start to understand, and I'm starting to understand more and more, and I really hate that I'm seeing this, how corporations run everything, even our politicians. And not only corporations, we even going to see, you know, maybe even some governments run our politicians, and that's even scarier. So let me play this, and we're going to get deeper and deeper into this shit.
So you want to bribe a U.S. politician? Sorry, that's against the rules. So let's break the rules. And if we're going to break the rules, you need to know them. Bribery of a politician is illegal, or at least our legal system thinks it should be. There's 3 major court decisions that built up to the loophole we're going to use. Because a mistake was made along the way that legalized the bribery of any U.S. politician. Now, in a perfect crime-ridden world, we could just give money directly to politicians in exchange for something. Quid pro quo. But our first court decision in 1976 prevents that. Buckley versus Vallejo. The Supreme Court rules that it is constitutional to limit donations to political campaigns. Because if you can't give $100,000 to a candidate, and you're limited to something like $3,000, that makes it very unlikely the candidate will do something for you. We've got senators accepting gold bars out here. Good luck bribing someone for $3,000. The limit also applies to political action committees, PACs, which take donations, then give the money to candidates. You, as of right now, can only donate $5,000 to a PAC per election cycle. But you're a millionaire, and you're looking to bribe someone. So 5K is just not going to cut it. 2010, Citizens United versus the FEC. The Supreme Court rules that as long as a corporation doesn't coordinate with candidates, there's no possibility of them corrupting candidates. That limiting the spending of a corporation to advocate for or against any political candidate is an infringement on free speech. The free speech of the corporation, of course. This overruled the 1990 Supreme Court decision that said it was constitutional to limit corporations' spending on elections, because if corporations could spend as much as they want to promote candidates, it would distort the political process. That's what the old one said. Thank God we fixed that, right? So now, corporations can spend as much as they like to help out a politician's campaign as long as they're not coordinating. But you want to bribe a politician, and you still can't donate any more than $5,000 to a PAC. Those limits are still there. So we need our third court case, speechnow.org versus the FEC, also in 2010, almost immediately after Citizens United, with Citizens United ruling that independent expenditures by corporations have no risk of corrupting an election. Then neither do donations to those corporations. That's the logic. This is where the mistake was made. And if your donation has no risk of corruption, no risk of quid pro quo, then Buckley doesn't apply anymore. It's unconstitutional to stop you from donating as much money as you want to a corporation, and it's unconstitutional to stop a corporation from spending that money on their own. Important note, this wasn't a Supreme Court ruling. It never reached the Supreme Court because the Attorney General didn't think it would be important. So, if you set up a political action committee, but it doesn't coordinate with any campaign, any candidate, people can donate as much as they want. Those PACs are called super PACs. Try to pause here and figure out how you'd bribe a politician with these tools. Because now it's easy. All you need to do is promise that politician you'll donate $100,000, maybe $1 million. Just not to them. You'll donate it to the super PAC that's running ads to advocate for them. All they have to do in exchange is give you a favor once they're elected. You know, something for something. And because the courts have declared that this could never, ever possibly cause corruption, you're in the clear. That is how our elections function, and have been since 2010. Now, to any normal person, that's a clear mistake. Because that's corruption, what we've been doing is corruption. It's bribery. It's what the law intends to prevent. There's no functional difference if the money you donate is going to a PAC or to the campaign. As long as it helps the candidate, you can use that to influence them. Quid pro quo. It's a clear oversight. This is why most of the spending on modern campaigns doesn't come from the campaigns anymore. It comes from super PACs. Super PACs funded by the rich to buy politicians. The solution is putting those donation limits back, and they can be, once the Supreme Court overrules the court that declared these limits unconstitutional. But until that mistake is fixed, this is your up-to-date guide on how to bribe a politician.
There you go. Now you know how to bribe a politician.
I know, but even if the Supreme Court goes back and puts it back a 5,000 limit, dude, they're still going to figure out a way to bribe them. I mean, damn. That swamp is deep, dude, and nasty up there. I'm telling you, it's deep, nasty. There's been people killed, all kinds of.
Oh, it's a cesspool.
Yeah, it is.
And if I think this explains it even in itself. If it was clean and just, that last court case would have went to the Supreme Court.
Mm.
You know, it was judged at the Court of Appeals, never made it to the Supreme Court. And there's a reason. Maybe the Supreme Court didn't even want to see it. You know, somebody, well, we know the reason. All the politicians' pockets are getting lined, but somebody didn't push it. And that just shows you right there that the rot is deep. You know, it's even in our court systems. And it's sad.
It is.
So I'm gonna bring this around to where we were in the last presidential election, and I'm gonna say some things here, and it might offend some people and I'm not attacking Trump, But what I'm going to do is show everyone that there's possibilities that everyone's in a pocket. And then I don't know of any way you can be that high in office or in any major office in this country without being in somebody's pocket. I just don't see it. Not the way the shit's set up anymore.
Right.
So in the 2024 presidential election between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, outside groups use super PACs and dark money to pour billions into ads and voter efforts, often more than candidates themselves raise. These are legal under rules from the 2010 Citizens United decision, which treats independent political spending as protected free speech. So Trump has his super PAC, which is Make America Great Again, Inc., MAGA Inc., and that was the top super PAC, spending around $377 million on ads boosting Trump and hitting Harris on issues like economy and immigration. And he got massive donations from other people like Tim Mellon. He gave him over 125 million, and there was other big PACs, the Preserve America PAC, and Elon Musk has the America PAC. So there was other people that helped out in that in coordinating getting him elected. But for Harris, she mainly used the Future Forward USA was her biggest, and that had 517 million in itself. And it was mostly on positive ads about Harris policies and attacks on Trump. It relied on huge contribution from donors like Michael Bloomberg and others. And that she got all this money, and I think it was what $1 billion or something they ended up saying overall in her that she put into her campaign in that short amount of time. And I had to stop and think about this because just the other day, they noted that she bought a $8.7 million home in Malibu. All right. Kamala Harris has been in the public, worked for the public her whole life. Now she has a over $8 million home on the fucking ocean. And these are the same people that are telling you that the fucking water's going to rise and the glaciers are melting and the earth's going to come to, and they buying this property on the fucking ocean.
Yeah, where's the water at, Brian?
Yeah. She's on the ocean.
She's on the ocean, and it's not it's not going to affect that side where I bought. We done did studies on that cost $10 million. We had
That's
studies done where I bought my house.
But
anyway,
it raises in the middle of the ocean, not on the coast. So the middle swells up, the rest of it, stays normal.
Yeah,
that was just a little caveat. I had to throw that in there because when I seen that the other day that she bought a home at 8.7 million in Malibu, I'm like, God, it's got to be good to be a public servant.
I know, man.
Oh, that was just a little caveat. Now let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. Bottom line, in 2024, these tools let billionaires and interest groups dominate the airwaves with ads, often in swing states. While dark money kept some sources secret, outside spending hit records over $2 billion just on the presidential race, showing how much elections rely on big outside money rather than just voter donations or candidate campaigns. But it's all legal. However, it raises big questions about transparency and influence. When think about how super PACs work, they can ruin a current elected politician by primarying them or just not allowing the normal person a chance to win a seat because they're going to outspend you. And that's just gangster, just like we was talking earlier. Or here's another one. Once you're in and you're supposed to help these organizations and they're going to help you. Now you owe them, and you don't. You can't deliver on what you said you were going to deliver on. They're asking too much for you. Well, you know what? You're out. They're gonna primary you. They're gonna oust you. They're not going to give you the money to back you. They're going to defame you, and you're gone. Gangster shit. And it's even the same in a business. You see time and time again that you get these little businesses. They start out great. They got a great product, and they grow in a successful business. And then someone always comes in and buys them, and you wonder why. And I really think, yes, a lot of them get great money, and they're like, fuck it, I'm just done with this. But I'm wondering if some of them just don't have a choice. So the guy comes in and say, hey, look, we want to buy your business. And they're going to buy them out. We're going to offer you X amount of dollars.
Right.
And they're like, nah, we're not going to do it. Well, okay, well, if you don't sell me your business, I'm just going to open up a business right next door and I'm going to put you out of business doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they'll squeeze them in another way. Either way, they're going to get your business if they want it bad enough, if they don't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I'm about to play a video, and this is all gangster shit. I don't care how you look at it. This is all way gangsters fucking work. And I found a video a while back, and it was about inventions and how inventions and the guys that make these inventions disappear. And there was one not too many years ago. There was a conspiracy of a guy that got shot in. It was one of the mass shootings at a grocery store. And one of the guys that got shot had some kind of major invention that no one wanted to see come to light. And he just mysteriously got shot in that parking lot.
What? Hold up, real quick. Was that the dude that was coming out with the engine that would run on water?
Yeah, it was something like that.
That dude just ended up dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
just mysteriously. He was
And-
fixing in a month or a couple of weeks from before that. He was fixing to go to patent that or something, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, I don't remember the full story, but it was something like it was just a couple years ago.
Yeah. Yep. I
Now
remember
these
that
I don't
one.
think touch on that one, but this is how some inventors just gone poof.
People who could have changed the world but disappeared. Number 1. Thomas Ogle invented a car engine that could run on vapor instead of fuel, reportedly driving over 100 miles on a single gallon. But after refusing to sell his idea, he was mysteriously poisoned at just 24. His blueprints vanished forever. Number 2. Nikola Tesla dreamed of free wireless energy for everyone, but when investors learned his invention would make electricity free, funding stopped. After his death, U.S. agents seized all his research papers. Some say his work could have changed the world. Number 3. Stanley Meyer claimed to have built a water-fueled car that ran entirely on hydrogen from water. He even demonstrated it publicly before suddenly collapsing during dinner. Reportedly poisoned, his invention disappeared soon after. Number 4. Raymond Rife, a 20th century American scientist and inventor, claimed to have created a microscope powerful enough to observe live viruses, something unprecedented at the time. But what really caught attention was his assertion that he had developed a frequency machine capable of destroying cancer cells without harming healthy ones.
At some point, coincidences stop. At some point when you connecting dots, this is a coincidence.
Big pharma,
this is
baby.
No, it's yeah, and this got me thinking. And I know a lot of things that I think about are kind of out there, but I think it leads to finding out shit that you would have never thought of. It's outside the box. So what I was thinking after I seen this, you ever wonder how a man selling books out of his garage, how he revolutionized how we purchase goods today and is the major supplier of internet services. Yet these guys and their inventions just die.
Mm-hmm.
So did someone like Bezos, do they just sell their soul per se? Why didn't someone come in and buy these people out or get rid of these people?
Maybe they couldn't be sold.
I don't know.
Maybe somebody did, Brian, and they couldn't be sold. But Bezos, well, I tell you what Bezos did destroy. It led up to it. Amazon destroyed them all.
No, we destroyed them all by buying from Amazon.
I know that, but him offering that to people destroyed shopping, like stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did. And
because you can just get it online. Why even leave the house? I get it all right here, and free shipping and a cheaper price than if I went to the store.
But I guess to put this question in a different way.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not intelligent. I'm not saying Elon Musk is not intelligent. I'm not saying these guys aren't intelligent. My question, I guess my point is there's a lot of guys that have great inventions. And they have great products. They do great service. You probably got some guys in your home area that do great service, and like the Amish, they do great fucking furniture work, like you're saying. And all these people won't get the shot at the next level, and I believe it's because they won't allow someone else to invest in them that they don't agree with.
Right.
And people like Bezos and them, I believe that they're willing to take that extra money. They're willing to do those extra things. If you just look at these people, they don't even look human sometimes. It's like what, especially Bezos, and if you look at what's the
Zuckerberg.
other one, Zuckerberg, yeah, all these guys, they just don't look right.
Yeah,
And
black
I know
eyes.
yeah, and I know I might be reaching on that, but it's just something just not right. It's like their soul is just not right.
Yeah.
And I wonder, are they, hypothetically speaking, having to sell their soul to reach these areas,
Probably.
or this guy that built a car that run off of fucking hydrogen. How is that not great technology to use? And I'm sure he wasn't the first one to do it. And I'm sure he wasn't the first person to die after doing it. But how does this not some technology that we want to push forward? How is this not great? It it doesn't benefit the powers that be. And maybe
Right.
that's the point,
Yeah.
but there's some greatness to that. So
But
I
you're
don't know. I
talking
think it's the
about
same.
you're talking about the big ones, Brian, the cancer that I had no idea about that one dude with the microscope that he actually tapped into a thing that would kill cancer cells that wouldn't even touch normal cells. Who you hurting there? Pharmaceutical, right? Big pharma.
Yeah.
They got a lot of pull, dude. I'm telling you, they probably got their hands in the election big time. Who's the other one? The hydrogen car or that one that runs on vapor that gets 100 miles to the gallon. Who's that going to hurt?
Yeah.
That
No
business
one.
that
And if you're
no,
and
it
if you're a
hurts.
tree hugger, that should be great.
It hurts the oil companies.
Oh yeah, it hurts them. Yeah. But I was thinking of the
They're
environment. I'm sorry.
another
Yeah.
no. You talk about your big collaborates or conglomerates or whatever you call them things. I'm making up my own words here, but anyways, you're talking about those super businesses, those superpower businesses, oil, pharmaceuticals. What's another one? Um,
I don't know, but you were just talking about those two. I don't know if you know
those two,
what
I think, are
Rockefeller and
probably they're probably the most profitable companies.
they're almost the same, because back in the gap, when petroleum wasn't doing that good and the Rockefeller, Standard Oil, that's when they decided to start investing in pharmaceuticals
Right.
and moving their shit through pharmaceuticals, and plastics and all come through. And so there's not much divide probably when you look at that. It's more likely it's the same people, the same money. So they're
Yeah.
getting the same clout.
And is that same entity that we said's behind our government, that evil entity we talk, I'm just calling it evil. It is what it is. Is it behind all that too, right? The oil and the energy. You know what I'm saying? Oil, pharmaceutical, you can all look at it as part of like we have to have energy unless we want to go back to the Amish or the caveman days, right?
And
we have to.
The reason I was bringing in this is because I want to show it. It's not only politics. It's these corporations, right? And these corporations are spending money on the politics. So it's just one big circle. The circle of fraud, it just look at the actors and actresses in Hollywood, the ones that go along with the script per se, and go exactly how everything's working right. They get all the roles. And then the other people, they get pushed out. And the guy that played Jesus in Passion of the Christ, he talks about that in one of the Sean Ryan episodes. You got to do what they want you to do. And he was just lucky enough, I guess, to keep his career moving. Well, anyway, what I was thinking when I was going through all this, and I watch a lot of Candace, and I'm not going to bring a whole lot of Candace into this, but it made me question, is this what happened to Charlie Kirk? And we're not going to be a big Charlie Kirk thing about this tonight, but I want to think of it in this realm. Did Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA get so big to a point to where it was making money and it had a hell of a following that other people wanted into it? And he was not allowing that. He was like, look, this is where we want to be. I'm not selling my soul out. I'm not going to do this. So they're like, you know what? Okay, we'll just make an example out of you. And they shot him, and the rest is history. But I mean, who did it? To me, it still wasn't that lone fucking guy on the roof, and he just can't make me believe there was a lone gunman doing this type of shit. It's always a lone gunman, and it makes me question these things. Was this a gangster way of taking out Charlie Kirk?
Yeah. He didn't fit their narrative, dude. So time to get rid of you. And he had a big following.
It kind of makes sense.
He had a big following. They couldn't just
And
push him to the side.
Oh no,
they couldn't. What would you say earlier? If you don't get along, then they'll push you out. They'll slander your name and all that, right?
Yep.
They'll make it hard for you to ever. But Charlie Kirk was so big with the colleges and all that stuff. His name got so big, dude. They couldn't do that. So what's the next thing you got to do?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Charlie Kirk was Turning Point USA. So in order to get into there, they would have to take him out. Look at how they tried to make Dave Chappelle look crazy.
Oh yeah.
Dave Chappelle wouldn't go along with the fucking, their plan, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's a crackhead, and he's doing all this, and the man just wanted to get paid. But
yeah,
gangster.
All
right, so I'm gonna let
But anyway.
Yeah, I love Dave Chappelle too. Well, Candace was on with Russell Brand, and I got a little clip from that. Let me play that.
Who benefits from Charlie Kirk being killed? I also know that whenever I've seen it my whole life, a lone gunman killed RFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I know that's a lie, so I'm open.
Look, I can tell you that from the moment that Charlie got shot, and I can't explain it. And maybe it's because Charlie would tell me all the time that he was going to die young, and I showed those messages, and I knew it was big. I didn't have the players. I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him, but I do believe that they have betrayed him since. And I am comfortable saying that today because I know that they have told lies. I know that they have withheld information that if truly you were motivated by goodness and truth, you would come out and you would say it. Like there are people at Turning Point who Charlie texted the night before and said they're going to kill me. If you're trying to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk, wouldn't that be a good thing to come forward with and to the public and say Charlie thought that he was going to be murdered the night before? And they are being very strange about details on that day. And so it's the absence of answering and the blaming and the yelling that feels off to people. And I think that's fair. I think spiritually, people are sensing their intuition is coming online and saying, this just doesn't feel right.
And it never felt right. It still don't feel right. It's just something's just off with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've been listening to Candace, but Candace to me, when a lot of times when I see her, she comes off to me like when your mom's mad at you, and she can't even yell at you anymore. She's talking to you, and just not to say nothing because she's just that damn pissed off, and she don't even have to scream, but you better just fucking sit there and listen to her. That's how I feel sometimes when Kansas is speaking. I'm like, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So I mean, I don't know if is this what they trying to do to Candace? We talked about the psyop, a few weeks ago, and are they trying to run a psyop to make Candace look crazy? I don't know. The lady speaks with conviction. The Charlie Kirk thing stinks. Judging by what we see in here, there's a good chance that somebody might have wanted, to get into there, and there's a lot of money that could be moved through there. I mean, could they use Turning Point is it a 5013C or whatever the hell? Can they funnel money through? I don't know. There's probably a lot of things that you can dig into if you really wanted to get deep into that. But there's some shit that's just fishy in that one, and I really believe it's because we have a true demonic presence in our politics and our elite circles.
Yeah,
I really believe that. And I don't know how we make that better. I don't know when we got there, if we've always been there, but I think we're there today. If it wasn't there 100 years ago, we're definitely there today. And going back to the PAC, so now we talked about all this because now I want to go over AIPAC. And AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. It is a pro-Israel lobbying group that shifted gears in recent years by creating its own PAC for direct candidate donations and a super PAC, which is called the United Democracy Project, for unlimited independent spending. So in 2024, their group spent around 100 to 127 million total, mostly on congressional races, to back pro-Israel candidates and defeat critics like some progressive Democrats in primaries. While not directly focused on the presidential race, this influenced Congress overall, which shapes foreign policy no matter who wins the White House. So no matter who wins the presidency, as long as you influence Congress, you still have a chance to shape what you want, in the government. So, for example, AIPAC-backed efforts helped in races that could affect U.S.-Israel relations under the next president. AIPAC, especially post-2021, has targeted critics in primaries, spending millions to defeat figures like Representatives Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush in 2024 Democratic races, while boosting allies. So Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush, the squad, they were former squad members. They were part of that big squad with AOC in them. So these were some of the most woke leftists, but they didn't play a game the way they were told. So Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush were primary and ousted mainly because they supported Palestine. And if we go to the Republican side, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and doesn't matter what you think about her. I go back and forth myself, but I mean, her stance against Trump administration on the Epstein files and the foreign policy, because she also highlighted the fight in Gaza as, she was one of the first Republicans to describe it as a genocide. And that put her on the outs with Trump and, of course, with AIPAC. And she even said that in her speech that, she recognized that the Trump administration would primary her. And while she was confident that she would win her district, it wasn't worth the fight. And, bringing her family through all the mess. And she knew there was going to be a bunch of bullshit, brought at her should she run again. And she just didn't want it to happen. And this is the power of these, super PACs. I found a video for anyone that's skeptical in what I'm saying. And I played this one for you before, Jason, so I think you've seen it. But if you don't believe what's happening, this has happened. I just want you to listen to this.
I'll bet you don't remember this clip from a year ago. Take a listen.
The Iranian nuclear program is going to be destroyed. And anyone who gets in the way, it doesn't matter where they are, even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall.
Wait, what?
Because we cannot afford.
Hold on, did you hear what he just said? He threatened politicians in the West that if they don't agree with Israel's war against Iran, that they're going to fall. And remember, he's an Israeli agent. Are you saying Israel will murder politicians in the West or get rid of them politically through bribery or whatever else? What do you mean the politicians in the West will fall if they don't agree to back Israel's war against Iran?
Yeah, we will not vote for them anymore.
Oh, no, well, you don't vote for them now. You're not in our country. What do you mean the politicians will fall?
We live in democracy, and we have the right to bring them up and to bring them down. Those who agree with Ayatollah, we don't want them in office. And all the sympathizers with terrorists like yourself, we don't want them even to be in our country.
Who is we, and how are you bringing down politicians in the West if they dare to defy Israel? Tell me how you're bringing them down.
I already answered you that.
Are you going to murder them, or are you going to bribe them? Or are you going to bribe someone else?
Is it just me, or does that admission feel a little different after the Charlie Kirk assassination? I'm just asking questions.
And before we get to discussing, I just want everyone to know that was an Israeli intel officer. They were on Piers Morgan, and he was talking to the guy. I can't remember his name, but he's from the Young Turks. And that was the way that discussion was going. But this is the power of the PAC, the super PACs, and the dark money, or in this case, AIPAC. I mean, he's sitting there smiling, pretty much laughing at us, saying they can control our elections.
Yeah.
And that is just fucked up.
They're so cocky. I don't think he realized he said that. But then it came out and he just kept going. It's like.
Oh yeah, like fuck it, he done pulled the Band-Aid off. Let's just see where this goes, maybe.
Yeah. It is what it is. This is what's happening. And I'm just saying, if you don't back this war and you try to, we'll get rid of you. And we're not going to get rid of you by debt. Well, I guess they could, but it's more, we're going to end your political career because you're not going to get funded. And if you don't have funds, you don't get in.
And it's amazing how they have so much leverage on us.
That's not even America based, dude. That's Israel. That's another country.
That's what I'm talking about. It's amazing that they have so much influence. Israel themselves.
I know. Yeah.
It's just fucked up.
That there's a pack named after them, the American Israel pack. We're like, that ain't happening. Hey, you guys.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. All right, I got another little short video. I don't remember exactly how long this one is, but this is going to explain a little bit more about AIPAC money.
I'm not going to vote for anybody who takes AIPAC money.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
I will not vote for any politician that takes any money from the Israel lobby.
You take AIPAC money, don't you?
Never taken money from the Israel lobby, have you? Taken money from the Israel
from AIPAC. Do you think AIPAC should register as a foreign lobby?
I've never understood why AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign agent.
I saw the way the AIPAC worked, and that was weird.
AIPAC babysitter.
I'm America first, AIPAC is Israel first.
Thank you, AIPAC. Thank you, AIPAC.
No doubt you have heard about AIPAC by now. If not, welcome to the club. You may not understand its history, its organization structure, or who it's giving money to. Well, now they may be changing again. Previously, AIPAC was the American Zionist Committee for Public Affairs. That was back until 1959, when they tried to change their name and broaden their horizons to supporting all Jewish groups, primarily because Bobby Kennedy, the Attorney General under John F. Kennedy, wanted to register them as a foreign lobby. Now, leaked emails from fundraisers show that they may be shifting away from their typical patronage, circumventing affiliated donor registration by having candidates get in contact with donors more directly and receive these in a way that won't be as stigmatizing for the public. So if the public doesn't know, it can't hurt them. But these same strings are attached to that money. These would be declared as unaffiliated or unknown donors, as opposed to publicly declared political action committees and unions or lobbying firms, or something related to a political organization. People commonly call for AIPAC to be registered as a foreign agent, and maybe it should be, but they'll just move in a more covert fashion, and that's what we've seen previously and what we are seeing now. So unless there's some publication of all donors of any amount, regardless of the conduit or fundraiser that facilitates the donations, so regardless of whether they donate to Act Blue first before donating to a politician, I think that there's no way for us to fully know who is donating what money to what politician and at what time. And I think that if we did publish all that information, many Americans might be afraid for privacy reasons, but it might bring more honesty to American politics.
Well, there's a lot of people that support AIPAC, and the ones that don't, more than likely don't stay in the political circle very long, I'm assuming.
Correct.
And that's kind of creepy.
Well, except for your far left. I know you said that Bowman and Bush because of their Palestinian support, but dude, like AOC, Bernie Sanders, Omar, them people there, dude, they don't get moved because they've got somebody else. They got somebody else back.
They got Soros or someone else with money that's actually taking care of them. So they have a competitor for the evilness.
But it's like NASCAR. You got to have a sponsor. Somebody's got to sponsor you in order for you to stay in the race. Yeah.
I think there was a comedian once that said that it'd be great if politicians had their sponsor stickers on them so we knew exactly who they were supporting. Or they might have been on the movie with Chris Rock when he became a politician. I can't remember. Head of State.
Yeah, Head of State. Head of State. That was a great movie. You know NATO? I know NATO. He's down the street. Do you know that NATO? No, you don't, do you? So shut up. I don't know your NATO. You don't know mine. Bernie Sanders. Global warming, global iced tea.
So I did some digging and looking at some of the packs, and I was not questioning, but I was just curious on who really supports, the MAGA Inc. pack. And again, I'm not doing this to throw shade at Trump organization. When I am a Trump supporter, having said that, I think we all should ask questions. All right. And so I went through his top donors of 25 to 26 cycle, and it's I'm not gonna go through all of them, but like Greg Brockman, uh Forrest Dax, Konstantin Schlockowolf, or however you say his name. And it's Steven Schwartzman. He's the Blackstone CEO and longtime Trump ally. He's the one I'm gonna focus on. And for no particular reason, I just figured I'd pull his name out of the hat and we're gonna go from there. But the other ones is so they got Benjamin Landa, Timothy Mellon, which we discussed earlier, uh, Jeffrey Yace. There's a few other ones. I mean, we even have like Jerry Jones and Dallas Cowboys. So I pull up all these guys, and I'm not going to nerd out with you on these like I do. So I'm just giving you a quick overview. You can pull this up if you want to nerd out on it yourself. But my biggest question was, do any of his biggest donors have ties to AIPAC or Israel? And what I found out was yes, they do. I mean, it wasn't shocking to say, but I wasn't expecting some of the top ones, to be sponsoring, have ties with AIPAC or Israel. But the Steven Schwartzman, and again, this is just information I found. I'm not saying this guy is, nefarious or he's doing anything illegal and whatnot. It's just numbers that are and the stance he has with with the Trump administration that I just want to point out. And if you have questions and you want to pull the threads, go ahead and pull the threads. I'm just putting this out there. So Steven Schwartzman is the Blackstone CEO, and he has made numerous donations to the Israeli and Jewish causes. In 2023, he and other Blackstone executives pledged millions to support humanitarian relief efforts in Israel. Blackstone also opened an office in Israel in 2021. Schwartzman has also donated to AIPAC's Political Action Committee. And this guy's donated $25 million for the 25-26 into Trump. So how does he have influence in politics? Well, he's the CEO of Blackstone. He's one of the most influential mega donors and behind the scenes power brokers in the current Republican landscape. As of January 26, his influence is characterized by a canny wager that has positioned him as a primary liaison between Wall Street and the White House. Schwartzman is consistently a top tier donor for the GOP, using his vast wealth to shape election outcomes. The 2026 midterms, he's contributed $5 million to the pro-Trump super PAC MAGA Inc. in late 2025, making him one of the top individual donors of the current cycle. In 2024 cycle, he spent roughly $40 million to support Republican candidates, solidifying his role as a kingmaker in the party. His historical impact, he has previous cycles. He's donated over $35 million in 2020, $27 million in 2018. He often ranking in Wall Street's largest political contributor. He's helped with the 2024-2025 transition team in selecting the cabinet with Donald Trump. He successfully leveraged his $40 million in 2024 campaign support to ensure the administration prioritized combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, a core condition of his return to the Trump fold. He has been a vocal supporter of wide-ranging global tariffs and major tax cuts, such as those in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed in 2025. He's also a big broker when it comes to being a liaison between the U.S. and foreign leaders. He's particularly in high-stake trade negotiations with China, Canada, and Mexico. He's even remains the primary, and I quote, China whisperer, using his deep ties to Beijing to push for a fast resolution to ongoing tariff escalations to avoid global recession. He's had mediation roles. He's the one that mediated the issues between Trump administration and Harvard when they were having all this anti-Semitism shit going on there. And He was also named a donor of the 90,000 square foot White House State Ballroom expansion in October 2025. And he still carries high level access. In November 2025, he was among the elite guests at a red carpet White House dinner for Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Now, again, I'm not saying the Trump administration is controlled by AIPAC, but I just wanted to show everybody that this
They
shit
got
can
AIPAC
touch
ties.
any and all politicians. Yeah. I ain't. Yeah, I mean, he's only a couple steps away. Let's just put it that way.
Trump ain't balls
And
deep,
there's
but
a
he put the
reason.
tip in.
Yeah, and there's a reason Bibi Netanyahu's fucking in the United States visiting Trump like every 2 months or something. And I'm not saying that he's bought off, but he's got an ear. You know, he is bending Trump's ear for whatever he needs. Now, whether Trump's listening or not or what's going on, I don't know. But he's buying time and access with Donald Trump. You know, I don't know if any other foreign dignitary has been to the White House or visited Trump as much as him in this last year. I mean, have you ever heard? I mean, I don't know. I'd have to research it, but I mean, I haven't heard of another name that goes there that often.
No, I think his first election, he spent a lot of time with Putin.
Trump, but I'm talking about like, I don't think Putin came to the White House or to the United States that much.
No.
I mean, he might have went there and they made some talks, but I'm talking about over the last year, the amount of times that Bibi Netanyahu has come to visit, it had to be more than what the little guy from Ukraine has visited. And I would think he would have more reason to come
up in
visit.
his jogging suit like he's going to go do some burpees or something. Can I get billions of dollars?
Yeah. And I can understand whether you like Putin or whether you agree with him. I don't know. I don't know what Putin is, you know, who he is or what he agrees with. Having said that, that is a world power.
I know.
We should be communicating with them. You know, we should be communicating with them. Israel's not a world power.
They're not, but they're.
Well, let me rephrase that. Yeah. They're not, but they have world power influence.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Because they got the biblical behind them.
Yeah,
but people need to understand, I'm big on Israel as in God's Israel. And just because Netanyahu's doing all this stuff, if he's Yahoo. But anyways, if he's doing, anybody can do wrong. So stop sitting there thinking that if he's doing some shady stuff, I don't think the good Lord's got his hand in that. And we have the free will. So you can't always say, I back Israel. You should back Israel of the Bible, not Israel of what's going on right now. I'm just being honest, because sounded a little shady there, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah, a little shady it is.
I mean, that dude got on there and straight said, if you don't support us, we'll get you out of here. He don't even have a right to vote in our country, but he basically told us, we control your vote, so shut up.
And I'm gonna bring some more shit to light that's even gonna make it even shadier. And he was just straight up in your face saying, you know, hey, look, we control your elections. We'll get that taken care of. It don't matter what you think.
And I don't care if you know it or not.
But why do these people feel like they got to have control over our policies? Is it because the money they need, or is it the I mean, what do you? I don't know. This is a general question, and I ask these questions whenever I'm looking on the internet, and it's kind of hard not to get, you know, something pushing you one direction or the other. So it makes me even think more that no one really knows, but the ones that probably know are not going to say anything, and the ones that were going to say anything probably aren't living anymore. So that's probably a good reason, you know, not to talk about it.
Right.
But it just makes me question. I mean, why do they have to have control over our policies? I don't know. But I'm about to play a video from Thomas Massey, and I like Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey doesn't do what I like him to do all the time, but that's okay because he's doing what his constituents want, and that's what he should be doing. And he doesn't always go along with Trump. And okay, I mean, I don't think anyone should. Well, I know anyone should not follow another person blindly. Period. I don't give a shit if it's your damn dad. You should ask questions because sometimes they might not have your best intent in mind. And if you feel like they don't, I mean, we all have that thing in our gut that knows when something's wrong. And if you think something's not right, you should be fucking asking questions. Not just because all these people says that's what you need to do. No, that's just a dumb way of following things. And you say it all the time. That's just like sheep. And I don't get it, but I hope more people start to wake up. And so that's my long way of saying this is Thomas Massey, and he's going to explain to you about the AIPAC guy.
Everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What's that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter, who is always talking to you for AIPAC. They're probably a constituent in your district, but they are firmly embedded in AIPAC. And
every member has something like this?
That's how it works on the Republican side. And when they come to D.C., you go have lunch with them. And they've got your cell number, and you have conversations with them.
That's absolutely crazy.
I've had 4 members of Congress say, I'll talk to my AIPAC person. And it's literally what we call them, my AIPAC guy. I'll talk to my AIPAC guy and see if I can get him to dial those ads back.
Why have I never heard this before?
Why would they want to tell their constituents that they've basically got a buddy system with somebody who's representing a foreign country? It doesn't benefit the congressman for people to know that, so they're not going to tell you that.
You got your AIPAC guy, Jason?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my phone. I'll call him. Got him on speed dial.
See if it's okay if we can keep talking about this.
Yeah. Hey, Bangladesh. We need some funds for our podcast here, dude. I'm trying to pull the thread on Bryan here, and you're letting me down. Love you. See you. Yeah.
So what? Looking at all this, it seems like AIPAC targets Congress and Senate, so you don't need the president. You can stonewall anything the president wants to do and put in the law by using Congress and senators. And in thinking about it, it's easier to manipulate a Congress or a Senate, election. And the reason I say that is not so much because of the fraud. It's because majority of the people don't really care who their senator or their congressman is. If they're going to vote, they're going to go vote for the president. And everybody else is, like we were saying earlier, it's just what you heard, the name you heard, name recognition is what they're voting for. So it's easier to get a congressman or a senator that you want that'll, pull or do exactly what you want them to do than it is to get the president. And you got a lot more of them. They can stonewall the president. They're going to be there a lot longer than the president, because you can keep them there indefinitely, and the president only going to have 8 years. So there's reasons that they targeting these people, and if they get them young enough, and I would like AOC and whoever her pack is, you get somebody that young and you can keep them in there 30, 40 years. There's a lot of shit you can get through, so that's a pretty damn good investment.
Can I give like our 2 listeners a little hit or a little deal that makes it simple in my head? It's more complicated, but you can simplify how we're built. So think about this, Bryan. Don't they put what's the big elections? It's the president. That's the one they make it out to be as big and all this stuff. Now, the president does have executive power. He can go in there and do those executive orders and all that stuff, right? But we see real quick how quick the next president can come in and take all that away. Correct?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's back and forth. It's almost like giving your kid an iPad just to shut them up. So they give them a little bit of executive power so they can go in there and make it look like they're doing something big. Oh, mommy, look at me. Look at what I just signed, with my 200 pins on here that I'm going to sell for millions of dollars of support money. But anyways, back to what I'm getting at. Congress and Senate is where it's at. So when you vote, people understand, pay attention who you're voting for Congress and Senate, because at the end of the day, not our president is our representative for these other countries. You're not going to have Putin or the leader of China or the leader of North Korea. A lot of countries don't have a system like we do, so they have one person. that a dictator, right? They got a dictator in their country. You can't have that dictator come over and sit with our Congress or sit with our Senate. So the president represents that one person for the America, right? But everything has to run through Congress and Senate, correct? Or
Yes,
a bunch of it.
Yeah, if you want to make it law, or as they
Yes.
say, codify something, yes, it has to go in through Congress and Senate and be voted upon.
That's right.
And
So
that's the checks and balances.
yes,
Or
that's
except
the
for the
check.
executive
Yes.
order, but that can, like you said, the next president come in and reverse all of that.
Right. So, you know, if you look at like when the Pilgrims came over, and then when we seceded from England, and we had the Revolutionary War and all that stuff to get away from the king and all that stuff, we still voted for a president because we had to have one spokesperson for the United States. You couldn't have however many Congress people. Was there over 100 of them, Brian?
Oh shit! There's
Or two? No, there's more than that.
There's
Shoot,
100 just senators,
yeah.
and there's
People
200
just
and something.
logged
yeah.
off, said this idiot don't even know how many congressmen. I don't keep up with that. I'm sorry, but what I'm getting at, every state gets so many depending on how big your state is, but each state only gets 2 Senate. I know that no matter how big your state is, I'm pretty sure. But your Congress, it depends on how many or how big or how many people. So California's got more Congress people, I think, in there
they have
than
more.
Kentucky does.
Yep.
So
the Senate, every state has 2 for the
2.
Senate, and Congress is by
so
population.
it's equal. And I think it should be the same, but I guess when you're trying to represent numbers, they get more because they got more number of people. But anyways, back to the thing is, stop getting hung up on your presidential election all the time. It's your Congress and Senate that is what you need to worry about. So if you're conservative, you push the Congress, not the Trump.
Yep.
Because even with the Democratic president, if the Republicans hold the Congress and the Senate, it's going to be very hard for that Democrat president to cause problems.
I would take it even a lot further than that. I would say and I'm even guilty for this, but I would even pay attention to like even school board, because
yes,
in
down to your
2020,
locals.
yeah, because when 2020 come out, I was just mind blown by the dumb shit that they was teaching these kids in school,
Mm-hmm.
and what or the lack of what they're teaching them.
Yes,
and that results straight back to your school board, and you're going into your state levels, and you'd have to look at it all encompassing that is all important. I think the problem is especially in our generation, politics was stupid. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with politics. We didn't give a shit about it. We didn't want to talk about it. We didn't want to fucking hear about it. And I don't know how it was for my mom and them, but I know for us, nobody wanted to talk about it. We had 2 guys in our unit, what was it, Kurger and the other one, that they talked about politics all the time, left and right.
And
I
we're
had
like,
no
"Shut
fucking
up."
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd walk off.
I had no idea what left and right was until a few years ago. I had no idea. Red and blue,
Right.
I could figure that out. Left and right, I had no fucking idea.
Right.
And that's a problem. I was talking to my daughter for New Year's, and we have total opposite, ideas. That's my youngest daughter. And talking with her, I understand that there's a lot of things that she's seeing that I'm not seeing, and there's a lot of things that I'm seeing that she's not seeing. And we were educated totally differently. It's really weird. And there's a big gap in what I learned and then what she learned, and there's a big gap with what she's seeing versus what I'm seeing. And we're gonna show that a little bit later tonight on how far apart we are as a country, but it's fucking eye-opening as shit. And that's just in a family. When you look at it in a nation, it's even a lot broader. And I don't even remember how I got there, but this is where I wanted to go. We were talking about the Congress and all, and how these guys would stay in a long time. And you were talking about how, you should focus on all that. And when you were saying that, you might have saw me writing something down because it jogged something in my head. These guys play the long game. They're not worried about the 4 years or the 8 years. They're worried about the long game. And especially with Israel. Yeah, well, especially when you're thinking about Israel.
Mhm.
Do you remember what it was last year, 2 years ago? What it was recently when all those pagers and shit blew up on those Iranian people, the cell phones and pagers.
Mhm.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard something about it. Yeah.
So what happened was Israel, they manufactured all this stuff. And so it was sold through them or somehow they got a hold to it. And these people had these pagers and cell phones for a year or so before they decided to detonate them. And they detonated them all at the same time. That is fucking patience. Where we'll just go in and just like blow somebody up that day. I mean, these people are willing to put in the work to hand out all this shit. You can't prove it was them, which is a great thing. But imagine the fear that they put in these people by just blowing them all up at the exact same time with these damn, electronic devices that they had. It's creepy. I mean, they could blow us up right now with these. It's creepy what the fucking these people can do.
Dude,
But
don't
the
put that
long
on
game.
my Yeti. I done scanned this thing. It does not have an explosive device in it. Watch that sucker say. Brian said this podcast brought to you by IED. When you're having that not so fresh feeling, use IED.
So this next video, I'm gonna lead into this. The other question I have is why does Israel supporters want to control our news? And I seen the video, and it's this guy called Norm Coleman. He's a former U.S. senator, and he's a Zionist lobbyist. And then also you'll hear a woman talk. Her name is Jordana Cutler. She's a Zionist strategist, and she's the policy chief for Meta, so Facebook.
Majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And my friends, I think the reason for that is that we're losing the digital war. Okay, they're getting their information from TikTok and whatever it is, and we're losing that war. When you think about it, the masters of the universe are Jews. We've got Altman and AI, we got Zuckerberg, we got Sergey Brin, we got the group across the board. It's us. And we have to figure out a way to win the digital battle. Amelia, we got to get our digital sneakers on.
I am living out the Zionist dream. I have been at Meta for almost 9 years. We banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media.
And when we do that, the future of Israel will be stronger because a majority of all Americans will support Israel. We'll make that happen. We have to make it happen. Thank you.
Hey, you got to support Israel. Can't say nothing bad about Israel. We got to be able to control everything.
Yeah, we'll shut you down.
It makes no sense. And here lies the problem. While the rich may fall in line as they have something to gain, all right, and the poor may fall in line because they need government subsidies. Most people aren't built that way. And that's why I believe they hate Trump so much. Not so much because they can't buy Trump, but because he brought the everyday American to the voting polls. And I'm going to go over the 2016 race again, because in 2016, there was no way in hell he was going to win. The political powers at that time believed they had the game rigged. It was just where they needed it. There was, no matter who they ran, they could have ran a puppet and was going to beat them. But anyway, they thought, Hillary Clinton, even though she wasn't the best candidate for him in 2016, that she was likely the best candidate to do what the super PACs wanted to do. So therefore she got the nod over Bernie Sanders. So she was going to be a shoe-in, and there was no way Trump, out of all people, would beat her. Well, lo and behold, Trump pulled off the upset. And of course, this pissed all these fucking elite people off. How dare the people vote who they believe is right for the country? This is when they started saying the quiet part out loud. The next day was unbelievable. Trump won the uneducated voter, which put him over the top. His supporters are non-college educated voters, especially white working class and the ones in the Rust Belt states. Even prior to the election, Hillary said, and I quote, "You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables." She described them as racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. What they failed to realize is that we would use this as a badge of honor. Not because we are any of those things or any of those things are true about us. Most of us don't give a flying fuck about what these people think about us. We just want to work, raise our family, and enjoy life as much as possible. These people think nothing of us. They think we're all stupid. They believe this because we don't have the same fucked up values they do. We don't strive to be in control of everyone's life. We love our modest homes. Honestly, in comparison to some of their homes and what they believe, they probably believe we live in 10 shacks, and they can't understand how this makes us happy. We must be ignorant not to want more. And all this was highlighted during the January 6th shit. And I remember watching, it was, I don't remember if it was Fox News or whatnot. Anyway, they played a clip of Anderson Cooper. And I remember Anderson Cooper, he was making a sarcastic remark about the January 6th protesters going to eat at Olive Garden and staying at a Holiday Inn or Marriott hotel. Like
What's
this
wrong
was a
with that?
fucking insult. Yeah. And I was like, man, these guys are living good. You know, why would they? That right there shows you how out of touch they are with the American people. I mean, that is a good night for the American person to be able to go eat at a Olive Garden or Red Lobster, Roadhouse or whatever franchise you're thinking about right now. That is a good night for the average American person. And for him to sit up there and say, sarcastic remarks like it was a dig at us, that's pretty sad because a lot of people, even in middle class, can't even afford to do that anymore. They can't even afford to go to the Olive Garden and enjoy themselves anymore. It's pretty sad. And these PACs and super PACs, they've taken away the voice of the people. The rich get richer, the middle class keeps fighting uphill battle. And this is how they want it. They want our struggles to be so bad that we just quit fighting. They want to put us in such a hole that we just want to quit crawling out of it. And it's sad, but it's true. And I only say all this to put in perspective how much they hate us. And I can't say that loud enough. I mean, I really believe that these people hate us. They hate the everyday hardworking American. They think we're stupid. And that's why they have to protect us from all the truth they hide from us, because we can't handle the truth.
Good quote.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there was a video. I need to send that one to you, not tonight, but I'll do it this week and you can play it next week and we'll refer back to it. Or maybe we could do it on our next bonus thing, but where Obama is actually at a podium and with all these world leaders stating that we're not smart, American or the regular people aren't smart enough to govern themselves.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that was like recently, or that was like when he was in office?
Back when he was president. He was at some world like New World Order or something. I don't know what it was.
It might have been like at the World Economic Forum or something like they're about to have again in Davos.
Well, yeah, he was in a whatchamacallit, tuxedo.
Oh. All right, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna give you some background on this guy that's gonna be speaking in the next thing. It's an interview about free speech, and it's kind of nerdy, in what they're gonna talk about. But I want everyone to hear it because it's Israel worried about what we hear and what we say, and that I just question all that. So this guy is named I'm probably gonna butcher his fucking name, but it's like Shlomo Kramer. And he's been actively involved in technology all of his life. As a youth, he worked on mainframes and sold video games. He's worth 2.2 billion. So he served in the Israel Defense Forces as a cybersecurity and intelligence team whose operations included gathering, analyzing, and encrypting data. The unit has produced many of Israel's top high-tech entrepreneurs. He has also been called the godfather of Israeli cybersecurity. And here he is on CNBC talking about our free speech.
Network, Shlomo Kramer, also one of the founders of Checkpoint, another big cyber company. Shlomo, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How is AI, cyber warfare, shaping geopolitics right now?
So AI is going to revolutionize cyber warfare, is revolutionizing cyber warfare from critical infrastructure to the fabric of society and politics and undermining it, giving unfair advantage to authoritarian governments against democratic countries, First Amendment type of...
That's already happening?
That's already happening. You're seeing the polarization in countries that allow for the First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social media.
Should do that. And we need to educate people against lies, and government need to develop cyber defense programs that are as sophisticated as the cyber attack. Today it's a 1 to 100 ratio. And really, government are not doing this today at any rate, and enterprises are left fending from themselves.
The technology is moving much faster than the political system typically can to respond to
so
it.
you need to use technology in order to stabilize the political system, and you need to put adjustments that are perhaps not.
I mean, we're at a point, though,
necessary.
right? I mean, I can go on Instagram or TikTok, and frankly, it already is becoming unclear what is fake and what is real.
Exactly.
And once you eliminate that ability to discern truth from fiction, then what are you left with?
You are left with polarization of society and inner fighting, and you have to control that. And you see that already happening across the world. So this is an urgent need by the government to do that. And until then, enterprises are buying by themselves more and more cybersecurity solutions, but they can't afford all these solutions by themselves. So they are looking for ways to deliver more efficient consumption.
And I assume you have some of those ways, obviously.
Right. So, and that drives really the next generation of companies such as Wiz, CrowdStrike, Cato networks on the network that are platforms and are able to deliver this extended need for security in an affordable way for enterprises.
For enterprises,
right.
Not for governments.
Not for government, but government need to start building their programs, and the same tools can be used also by government.
But the two leaders in AI, one is China, which obviously already is using AI to control the population. Yeah. And here we're all out in a race with China. And so we're not as interested in regulation right now, certainly not at the state level, for example.
And that's a big mistake, because if China has a single narrative that protects its inner stability, and the U.S. has allows for multiple narratives, it puts them in an unfair advantage that long-term is going to cost the stability of the nation. So changes must be made.
Yeah, if I had to say anything, I wouldn't buy anything for cybersecurity from that man.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they got to control our speech. I mean, this guy can barely speak English, but he wants to control what we hear and say. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It works in China and Russia, and North Korea.
Yeah, even if he's all right, even the argument saying that they could be sending propaganda over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let us decide what we want to hear. And what I mean, I understand what he's saying, but it's almost like a backhanded compliment type thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that we're too stupid to recognize that we're being played, and we might be. I don't know. You know, as a whole, we might be, and I hope more people start waking up. But I don't think it's him to decide on, you know, if we're smart enough to understand this type of stuff. You know, give us all the information. Tell us we're being fucked with. Tell us exactly what's going on, and then maybe we can make better decisions. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So and in this and with the APAC and all, and we're going to get into this how divided we are as a country. I'm still want to know, why do they want to control our elections? Why do they want to control our businesses? Why do they want to control what we hear and say? Why do they want to control us as Americans? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mhm.
There's something, and I don't want to say, this is, like it's all doomsday, but there's something nefarious about that. No matter whether you support Israel or not, I mean, you can support them and still think there's something off. You can do both things. You don't have to follow somebody blindly. And if you do, you're gonna cause yourself problems in your life if you follow anybody blindly. You have to ask questions. And I'm not telling you, just to question everything somebody tells you just because you want to be an asshole. But if something doesn't seem right, question it.
Mhm.
So to sum this one up in the easiest manner, they're just stealing money from us. They're stealing control from us,
Mhm.
and they all just fucking gangsters. They're
Yeah.
fraudsters. And I don't know any other way to put that. And I'm
It's
gonna have to
like
share my
pimps and
screen on this one.
prostitutes, dude. They're pimps and we're the prostitutes, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't even know if we fucking prostitutes. It's
We
I don't know
are.
what we are.
We're out there working, dude, and giving them our money. We're
Yeah, I
giving
see
them
what you're
our
saying that
money
way.
that
Yeah,
we
well, we're not even giving it to them. I mean, that's just being taken straight up.
no hustle and flow, hustle and flow. That movie
Yeah.
with Terrence, whatever his name is. Watch, there he goes
Yeah, I know what
again,
you're talking
dude.
about.
Some kind of CB up in my earpiece. But anyways, if you watch Hustle and Flow, and you see how Terrence handles his women that are working for him, and how he talks to them and he makes them feel like he's protecting them, and he's, you know what I'm saying? That dude ain't
Yeah.
getting sexed up by dudes. They are. But he's taking their money and then he invested into his little rap game or whatever that he tries to get into. But that's what a pimp does.
That's
A
a
pimp plays a
microcosm of the
woman.
country.
Yeah, he plays a person to go out and do nasty stuff to make money. And guess what? You're going to give me a majority of it and I'll take care of you. That's what the government does. We're being pimped. We a bunch of hoes there, Brian. Boats and hoes, baby. It's going to be my campaign
Yeah, I'm
slogan.
not gonna argue that one with you. I mean, that's a good analogy, and I think it's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
This is the last video I'm gonna show on this topic, and it's really not
Mhm.
about the topic, but it's basically about how we should feel towards the government.
There's been no other point in human history where a population would have accepted such mass treachery by their government or ruling class. Politicians were hung for a fraction of what they're currently doing, and they get away with it with approval rates of less than 10%. If that's real, if it's even 10%, I would argue it's less than 1%. We are being governed by people that every single person hates, and yet they manage to cling on to power. And they don't do it only to steal silently. They steal publicly, not to do small things. It's not tiny transgressions. It's literal genocide of native populations. They're getting away with it. And at any other point in human history, the politicians would be fearful of the people for a fraction of the crimes that are currently being committed by the ruling class across the entire West. How did they get away with this? They got away with it, and they're still getting away with it, because the mass demoralization has been incredibly successful. It has been massively successful. Everybody is demoralized. Everybody's black pill. Everybody's doom and gloom. We may not see each other again, so make sure to follow this page.
This is the Sense and Senseless podcast.
All right, there we go. Now we're gonna talk about. This is where I want to go with this. Is the division in the country, and if you haven't heard, and this is good. Whenever you think about all the fraud we got, Trump is cracking down on some of the fraud as he's trying to stop sending you tax money to all these sanctuary cities. I think this is a good thing. Let's listen to Trump say this. No, it's not live. I took it off of live.
Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.